They took me by ambulance, and I barely remember anything in the ambulance. I remember just laying there, and I remember the bumps. A lot of that area is just a lot of blurriness.
I mean, doctors are in and out, and things are happening rapidly, so.
The next thing I remember is doctors talking to me, and Krista was on my left side, and both of them saying, "We need to put you into an induced coma, self-induced coma." I'm like, okay, you want me to make this decision? I don't know what's going on. And so my immediate response was, I need to call my parents, I need to call my mom and Krista's parents and saying, I'm going into a coma. That's all I know. This is what the doctors say, and this is what needs to happen.
He could kind of barely speak. He barely just said, I love you, and that was pretty much all he could say.
So it could have been the last phone call, and it was just a lot of hand holding, a lot of hugging. But I guess I didn't stay with the being scared moment. I felt it, acknowledged it, and now it's like, what do we need to do? Let's get going. Let's do the thing. Once the doctor said we're ready to go, then that's where we went.
And so it was rush after that. The doctors ran in right after that, and he couldn't communicate. He was out for about, I want to say 7 days, really sedated. They tried weaning him off some of the medications to try to wake him up, but it's hard because he couldn't speak. He had tubes coming out of his nose, his mouth, everything. They had to put a peg in, which is something they put in your stomach directly so you can get nutrients. They did plasmapheresis, which is basically taking your blood and cleaning it and then putting it back in. So, and I remember that was him saying that was part of his coma dream, that he could feel it. He could feel the treatment happening to him, but he couldn't do anything about it. It was very out of it, didn't know what was going on. So
while I was in the coma, it was like a dream, and yeah, it was the most intense dream I've ever had, and it did shift the way I look at life in more of a balance as well, of being grateful for everything that I have, everything that I will have, and still striving to keep going.
And he was at that point coming out of a coma dream, which is pretty vivid and pretty intense. His eyes were wide, like, is this real? What's happening? What's going on? Type of thing. So he was really confused. I remember when he woke up, he could really only communicate with his eyes. He was in a lot of pain too, and so they were trying to manage his pain pretty well, so he was on a lot of drugs.
But then the next thing I remember was waking up in what felt like good company. My wife was there, doctors, and at this point I was in complete paralysis. I couldn't do anything. I believe at this time I couldn't even talk. So it was a lot of grumbling, but at the same time I couldn't feel anything with my body. So that part was scary. I guess that was more scary to me at the time. Just knowing, okay, is this how I'm gonna live?
He was paralyzed from pretty much the neck down suddenly. It was really sudden. It was within a matter of a week.
I just remember they were telling me to wiggle my toes, and then I couldn't do it. And then another doctor would come in a couple hours later, or it felt like a revolving door. And the more they asked, the more I realized that I couldn't do it. They were not moving, and not without me trying. I was telling my brain, I was telling my toes to do it, and it wasn't happening. There was just nothing going on. I was just laying there.
The first month was really difficult because I was there for 8 hours a day. I was really disoriented. We got a lot of support from friends and family throughout this whole process.
At first I'm like, keep a lid on this. This is just something that's affecting me. I'm gonna get back, and nobody's gonna know at all what happened. As it progressed, all right, include another layer of people, close friends, acquaintances. So they've all been asking and wondering, and what is Guillain-Barre, and how are you doing? So a lot of questions, a lot of support came back while I was just laying there.
People are always asking, how can we help? What can we do? And so I was like, okay, my task throughout that period was to kind of figure out, okay, what can people do? Because there's going to be a lot of people that want to help us. But I want to be thoughtful about this, and I want to make sure that we are including everyone that wants to be included in this process with us, because it was a big deal. We've been really trying to personally thank everyone since then, and really trying to share our journey. And this is kind of one of the things that we wanted to do, is to really thank everyone for helping out. Because there's really no way we could have gotten through it without them. So.